Well, I happen to be pretty much the happiest person in Philadelphia because I'm with two people I respect tremendously and like also. One of them is Leanne Browne. Hello, Leanne.
Hello.
And the other is Laynie Browne, with an E at the end of Browne, not
Yes.
related to Leanne Browne.
We're
Hello
poetry
to both
sisters,
of you.
though.
We are related.
You are poetry sisters.
Yeah.
And we are spread apart because we are respecting the whole virus thing, but we like each other, and if it weren't for that, we'd be sitting right next to each other. We're going to talk about a poem by Emily Dickinson. It's in the Johnson numbers. It's number 1672, 1672. Emily did 1700 and something, so we're just going to stipulate this is a late poem. So I'll read it, and I'm also then going to ask Laynie to read it, so we'll get two readings, and then we'll talk about it. The title comes from the first line. She didn't give poems titles mostly. Lightly stepped a yellow star to its lofty place, loosed the moon her silver hat from her lustral face. All of evening softly lit as an astral hall. Father, I observe to heaven, you are punctual.
Lightly stepped a yellow star to its lofty place, loosed the moon her silver hat from her lustral face. All of evening softly lit as an astral hall. Father, I observe to heaven, you are punctual.
Leanne, light seems to be important here. It's either the moonlight or the starlight, or both, or one succeeding the other. But I love how the first word is not about visual light. So let's start by just riffing on how light works, or how important it is, or what's going on.
Well, lightly stepped, I just feel her out in the yard looking up at the star stepping out into visibility.
So it's a pun. They are lightly stepping because they are light, they are lit.
Right.
But they're also light in that they're delicate, or there's something ethereal.
Right. And you have the yellow and the silver. You have different kinds of light coming in.
Moon is silver, Laynie, but star seems to be yellow. Is that a distinction?
A
that
yellow
means
star and a silver hat. So we have gold, we have yellow and silver in the sky, and with lightly we also have the image of a star making no sound as it gets into place for evening, as if it's it's a nightly production of evening coming, and everybody's getting in their place.
lightly stepped, softly lit. So it's gentle, delicate, soundless, you said. Astral hall, there's, of all the phrases of this poem, lustral may be another word that people underline and say, what the heck's that? Anybody want to help with astral hall? And let the record show that we did no preparation for this. We just picked this poem.
Celestial.
Celestial.
Well, because it's further down in the poem, it just seems to be, she sees this one little star, and then the all of heavens become this hall of light. Like, it's like a hall illumined. And it reminds me of when I was little, and I thought that the night sky was, that angels somehow put a colander over the earth, and the light was coming through the holes. And like, it's like this room,
wow.
and there's like this chandelier, of light coming down in a firmament, like in a room, a big room.
This is a Dickinsonian trope, if there ever was one, that even the evening scene from the yard becomes part of the home, part of the house, part of the dwelling. And lustral face, Laynie, lustral's such a great word. That is not a neologism. That is a real word, isn't it? I think.
I think so. It makes me think of luminous and emanating light.
And luster.
Luster.
So the moon has a face. The star is not so much humanized. All of evening. So this is a star rise, moon rise, and then the whole night. So what Father presumably is God, because She's looking up to heaven. So it's God or the Godhead. Why would she say... It seemed a little spunky, too. You're here on time. Am I reading that wrong? Or is she just being sincere, like, this happens every night, thanks for showing up?
Well, one thing I thought when you pointed out it was late in her work, it just seemed to be, that she, that everything's going on schedule, and she might know that it's toward the end of her life. Like, you're punctual.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That gives a new meaning to this idea of the astral hall, because at first glance I was thinking, this is like a social occasion for the moon and the stars, but it's all put in place by this divine order that comes when it comes, and it comes every night, and it can't be altered, like mortality can't be altered.
And yet punctual is used typically to refer to the alarm is set, and this happens daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. This is daily, of course. But in terms of death, mortality, and she does punctuality in that way too, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So I'm a little confused. We have the rising of a yellow star, followed by the moon, presumably, and then a reference to ascent, and God is punctual. So I'm confused by movement. The star is moving, the moon is moving, but then the observation to heaven is as if something is fixed. So and this is typical of Dickinson. I don't know who's standing still and who's moving. This is it's an astronomy thing, of course. We think we're standing still, but in fact, we think the star is rising, but the star is there and we're turning and so forth. Does anybody else feel that conflation, that problem?
Yeah, it just feels like the scene is being revealed, and then she's feeling this presence. But I'm sort of confused about the father thing, because she definitely rebels against talking directly a lot about God. I mean, doesn't she? Like, she's sort of like...
And fathers.
Yeah,
fathers are not her
so,
favorite.
Yeah.
So what do you think could be said?
It's like a little bit of a... like a...
It's a come down, isn't it?
Patriarchal kind of...
punctuality.
Constraint. It's a little bit like she's having this feminine experience with the moon with her silver hat and her lustral face. She's having this ecstatic kind of revelation of the evening.
Yeah.
And then something comes in that's like the father saying, "Time's up," or
Time's
"Come
up."
inside.
The father represents
yeah.
what means, what on time
Right.
means.
Yeah.
What
like-
things are supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, he's tapping his watch.
Yeah.
And she's been having this
Ecstasy.
moony, maternal, lustral, astral experience. So the three of us are coming to an ironic ending. Yes, Laynie?
Maybe she's not ready for night. She wants to keep enjoying the display.
Wait, you're right. Maybe, wait, maybe Father, I observe to heaven suggests I observe, hi, Father, God in heaven. I'm Father, comma, I observe to heaven. But maybe it's the other way around. It's Mr. Dickinson.
Yeah.
Hey, you up there, moon, stars. The old man is coming, tapping his watch. I got to go inside because he wants me inside. Maybe the addressee is
Heaven.
all the cool stuff that's going on
nature.
up there, and Father is not the addressee. All right, this is really cool. I mean, we pick a random tiny poem by Dickinson, and we're all juiced. So let's do final thoughts, each of us, about this poem. Is it the case, Laynie, that you can pick almost any Dickinson poem and have a really good time trying to get into it?
Yes. Final thought. I'm really curious about the astral hall. I would like to be standing next to Emily Dickinson and asking her questions about this gathering, the moon, see the moon take off its hat and the star step, and
It's almost a gallery.
yeah.
Gallery, like a hallway of not of externalities of, all the heavenly stuff.
And what you said about who's standing still and who's moving, it makes me think about revolving,
Yeah.
This sense of, well, we're always revolving, but we're not always aware. We are revolving and evolving, and maybe that's part of the point of the ambiguity.
This is probably way off, but I keep thinking of a display, like an art display, what we call a kind of a rotating exhibit every night. And she's turned it into this, she is the one who's turned it into a gallery. That has a time limit to it. But of all the poets, she'd be the one to manage to get the star and the moon into her hall. As in Kunsthalle, that's what I'm thinking of hall, right? The art gallery. I'm so way off there, I'm sure.
Or just, I think of like the opposite of Poe's Masque of Red Death Hall. It's like this beautiful, it's a party. It's like, a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, and the everlasting roof is, the gambrels of the sky.
Right.
You've got to mix all those poems together. Leanne, final thought?
Well, the thing I was going to start with that I totally forgot about till just now is that the rhythm is sort of shorter lined than most of her poetry. Lightly stepped a yellow star. Lightly stepped a yellow star. It's like 7-6, 7-6, or 7-5 even. It's not the 8-6, 8-6 ballad meter. It's a little truncated.
Truncated ballad. Lightly stepped a yellow star to its lofty place. Loosed the moon her silver hat from her lustral face. It's actually quite regular.
Yes.
Then, all of evening softly lit as an astral hall. That works. Father, this breaks it, right? Because it's punctuality, man. Father, I observe to heaven, you are punctual. That doesn't work.
It's still 5-7-5-7.
It is, but
usually
it just
it's
doesn't.
Usually it's 8-6-8-6, though. That's my point.
Yeah.
Just-
No, I got it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's truncated ballad, but I still maintain that those
Yes.
last two lines, because they're so damn punctual and so reality-based, that it's not going to work with
Right. And
with
hall
the,
and
with the
punctual
aesthetic.
is a very strange rhyme.
It is a very strange
That's what I like about it.
Astral Hall, you are punctual. I have no final thought. I thought we did a great job with this. I just wanted to thank you both. This was so much fun.
What about the yellow star?
Okay. Well, this predates the
Right.
forcing the Jews to wear the yellow star,
Right.
but how can you read it
Right.
in our era without thinking of Emily as historically pre-modern, visionary, anticipating all of that? So I don't know what more to say, except how can you talk about this poem without referring to what that means? And frankly, if we want to read the patriarchy at the end, and its punctuality and its efficiency and its hyper-rationality, then this is what happens to yellow stars. Thanks for inducing me into that reading.
I need to have something to say.
Thank you both so much.
Thank
This was
you.
great.